Straight ahead on 12 News, is college always worth the cost? What one survey says and what families can do now to prepare. Plus, years of fundraising leads to a big moment in the history of Brooklyn Center. 12 News is there for the dedication of a special new venue. But first, a big decision involving light rail looms in Robbinsdale. It could mean the closure of a road. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. The Northwest Metro's future light rail line could bring changes to a busy railroad crossing.
Officials in Robbinsdale are deciding whether to keep 39th and a Half Avenue open to drivers and pedestrians. As Sonia Goins reports, it's a decision that may not come easy.
39th and a Half Avenue is a well-traveled road, but all this traffic could come to a halt if officials decide to close it.
Railroad crossings are either open to traffic and pedestrians or not open at all.
If the blue line comes through here, it would make the railroad crossing a lot busier.
In the future, if the blue line is extended, there would be many crossings every hour.
If officials do decide to keep the intersection open, they'd have to make modifications, like this one in New Hope. They'd have to put up barriers so cars couldn't go around the gates.
I'd rather them leave the intersection there.
Jared Bernhardt says closing the crossing would make it hard to get around town.
I guess the only thing that would bother me about it is the fact that there's only one other direction to get to that side of town, or one other intersection over the tracks, and so it might be more congested.
I would prefer it to be closed.
Paul Marini lives across the street from the intersection.
It gets busy. It does. There's a lot of cars that goes by here.
He's in favor of closing off the intersection to traffic and pedestrians because he says it would be easier on the folks who live nearby.
I think it's easier because then you don't have to worry about, traffic stopping here every time the train goes by. The train can just flow and goes through.
It would be some time before residents would see any major changes to the railroad crossing.
It's not anything that would be happening right away.
In Robbinsdale, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
And residents can offer input at a public forum tonight. That's Wednesday night at 6 o'clock at Robbinsdale City Hall. Officials hope to make a decision by December.
A Golden Valley man has been sentenced to prison for driving drunk and killing 2 people. Philip Bertelson was sentenced to 8 years in prison, the maximum allowed by state law. Authorities determined Bertelson was driving 107 miles per hour when he slammed into a car stopped at a red light 2 years ago. Killed were 20-year-old Melvin Jones of St. Paul and 21-year-old Brandy Banks Sutta of Minneapolis. Bertelson apologized for what he did, saying he was sober for 30 years before he slipped back into excessive drinking.
A Maple Grove man is scheduled to appear in court next week on charges of engaging in prostitution with a minor. Corwin Moose is accused of having sex with a 16-year-old girl who he met through a Backpage.com ad. Criminal complaint says the girl later helped authorities set up a sting to arrest Moose. During the arrest, police searched Moose's truck and found rubber gloves and a new tarp lining the vehicle. Police also didn't find the money that Moose had agreed to give the girl. The recent mass shooting at a community college in Oregon was sadly the latest in a chapter of public shootings.
The Brooklyn Park Police are taking a proactive approach to the problem.
We want people to be aware of their safety when they're out in public, whether you're at a ball game or you're at a hotel or you're in a mall shopping and something goes wrong. You hear gunshots or screaming and things. What should we do?
A good crowd turned out for a workshop on protecting yourself in public places. Crime prevention specialist Terry Damer says the most important thing to remember wherever you are is to be aware of at least 2 exits to any room that you enter in case you need to evacuate in an emergency. One attendee says she's grateful for this type of information.
I think having a conversation and learning about, how to manage yourself out there nowadays. Times have changed.
This is the second year the Brooklyn Park Police Department has held the Safety in Public Places workshop. A new amphitheater has been dedicated in Brooklyn Center.
The Centennial Civic and Veterans Memorial Amphitheater is more than an outdoor stage. It's also meant to be a gathering point for local residents and a way to honor veterans.
It is a marvelous day. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous?
For former Mayor Myrna Kragnes and other members of a task force, it was a long labor of love that had its start after the city's centennial celebration in 2011.
And once it was over, they said, well, now what do we do? And you have to leave something behind.
It took 4.5 years of fundraising, not always easy during the recession.
Well, there were times when we thought, oh my gosh, how are we going to raise that kind of money?
So getting $356,000 in private donations, overcoming poor soil in the park, and getting help from the city to make up the cost shortfall was a big deal, all leading to a dedication.
What so proudly we hailed.
Veterans were front and center at a dedication ceremony Tuesday night.
Thank you to all of the civic leaders and all of the veterans from Brooklyn Center here in attendance, for which this amphitheater is intended to honor.
It will be a place for musical events, weddings, and even theater.
It's been said that the whole world is a stage, and this stage, I believe, will be a world for many to showcase their talents, to experience fear and to experience triumph.
In my opinion, this is going to be a great community builder.
On one end, names are engraved on paver stones as memorial. Some of them pay tribute to veterans who have died. Others remember family members.
This is a lot more than cement and bricks.
It's more, and if you could feel the feeling of especially the committee that worked so hard to get this. I mean, it was just a part of your heart. You knew we had to do this for the city. It was so important.
The amphitheater cost more than $560,000 to build. More than half of that came from private donations. The city made up the difference from its parks fund.
It was a beautiful morning to soak up the sun and breathe in some fresh air. Students from Sonneson Elementary took advantage of the gorgeous weather to celebrate International Walk to School Day. On annual events like this, the key message is safety and reminding drivers to slow down. Every day in the U.S., 44 children are struck by a car.
Usually in the morning we do generally have someone from the police department, I believe, is here in the morning as well. We also have adult staff out there with safety patrol. We don't generally have too many concerns with drivers not obeying the laws, and when we do, we have safety patrols that make notations of that.
Under state statute, it is a $212 fine if you're caught speeding in a school zone.
A member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame offered some words of wisdom to local students this morning. Former Vikings offensive lineman Randall McDaniel answered questions from students about character, leadership, and achieving success. He had a live audience at Neill Elementary School, but other students from the Robbinsdale School District, Arizona, and New Jersey joined in via live video conference. The program is part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame's Heart of a Hall of Famer series, which gives students a chance to learn what it takes beyond athletic ability to become successful.
Excellence can be found anywhere. It's not just on the football field, basketball court, it's in the classroom, it's at home, it's anything you're doing in life, whatever you're doing, it can be found everywhere. You're never going to obtain excellence, but you can always strive to get there, and that's the hard work side in it.
McDaniel conducted the video conference at Neill Elementary because he works there full-time as a basic skills instructor. Coming up, taking a closer look at college. We'll assess the cost and look at different ways to save up.
And then a little bit later in sports, Wayzata takes on Eden Prairie in a good girls soccer matchup. We'll have the highlights.
But first, some early morning showers on Thursday. The rest of the day stays dry. But here's a question new college graduates are thinking about. Was college worth the cost?
A new survey says the higher your student debt, the less you believe your education was worth the cost. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains how high school students and their parents should be thinking of that question before students go off to college.
With the cost of college increasing each year, it's no surprise one of the main questions guidance counselors get from students and parents is, how do I pay for college? We break that question down over the next few weeks. How much and how often should parents save? And should students make cost a deciding factor when choosing a college? We take a closer look at tackling the cost of college in Money Savers.
Do you think you used your school email address?
With everything else going on in high school, sometimes students don't think about college until it's staring them in the face.
Right, and here's your star ID.
So moving the Career and College Readiness Center to a more prominent place this year at Osseo Senior High made perfect sense.
When a student comes in here, the moment they walk by, they see the CROC, they know, hey, college, career, you got to start thinking about it.
Once in here, it's a busy place.
All three of them right now are applying to colleges. So she's applying to Winona, he's applying to the North Dakota State College of Science, and she's applying to Howard University.
But after the acceptance letter comes in,
the number one question that we're asked is, how am I going to pay for this? Like, I figured out a plan, so I feel like I'm doing pretty well because I figured out a plan, but I just don't know how I'm going to make it work financially. So, and there are lots of options.
Options is the name of the game when it comes to paying for college. And counselors say take advantage of everything your high school has to offer, which includes taking courses in high school that can give you college credit.
Understand the fact that college tuition is rising, and if you can get your college credit while you're in school, they've wiped out maybe 12, 15, 16 credit while they're here.
Then being smart in school does pay off.
Truly, the kids who put in the work on the front end, the kids with the really high GPAs, the kids with the ACT score that's high, they're gonna, colleges want them. And so colleges are going, here's a pile of cash for you to come to school here.
Big bam, boom, bam. But what about students who are years away from college and the parents who want to plan ahead?
The earlier you start, the better. There's no doubt.
The adage save early, save often is important here. There are 4 different ways you can save: Roth IRA, 529, Coverdale, and individual savings accounts. But the important thing is save in a way to maximize your money.
That allows that money to compound. It's dollar cost averaging by investing every month or twice a month. And it's proven to be less risky, and you make more money over time.
Even then, the bottom line here is students should never stop looking for options.
There's a lot of ways to decrease the amount of money that you have to pay for that 4-year degree if that's what you're really searching for. So starting out at a community college potentially, doing some sort of military service, just looking for every single scholarship that's available.
For Money Saver, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
Coming up, how Plymouth elementary students can earn a really fun ride to school.
But first in sports, Champlin Park and Osseo battle for first place in Northwest Suburban Conference Volleyball. John Jacobson is in next.
Following 2 tournament losses last month in Marshall, the Champlin Park volleyball team has been tough to stop or even slow down. The Rebels had lost just 2 games total in their previous 7 matches coming into their Tuesday night match against the second-place team in the Northwest Suburban Conference, Osseo. Set 1, Sydney Hilly and Rick Claflin team up for a block at a Rebels point. Then Hilly digs up the Osseo kill, gets the set back from Izzy Ashburn for the kill. And Champlin Park wins the set 25-14. Set 2 is tight. Anna Furman puts down the free ball for Osseo. Janae Alderson's kill gives Champlin Park, though, a 13-5 lead. Osseo comes back. Brianna Leininger's kill gets through 3 Champlin Park players, cutting the lead to 22-19. But the Rebels win it on the big smash by Alderson, and they go up 2-0. Set 3, nice dig by Leininger for Osseo, and then the set by Lane Ruska for Tina Bowe for the kill at Osseo point. The Rebels pull away, though. Alderson will hammer a perfect set by Hilly for a 19-13 lead. Then on match point, Alderson's hit dug up by Osseo, but Hannah Krimble puts down the free ball for a 25-14 win. Champlin Park gets the sweep as the Rebels continue a strong season.
I really feel like we're starting to come together as a team. Like beginning of the year, we were kind of didn't really know, comfortable, like frustrated and things, and now we really know that we all have each other's backs. So it's kind of nice that everybody's on the same page and we're finally figuring things out as a team.
At Wayzata, 2 top 10 teams were matched up in volleyball as the 8th-ranked Trojans hosted number 4 Eden Prairie in a late conference match. Wayzata pulls away on the first set by Kenzie Greschel, setting to Morgan Baufield for the kill. Trojans win set 1, 25-18. Second set, off a scramble, Lauren Jagerson with the hit off an Eden Prairie's shoulder for the point. And Wayzata wins 25-17. They're up 2-0. But the momentum changes. Eden Prairie comes back strong in the third. Grace Person recording the kill. And the Eagles win 25-16 to stay alive. Fourth set, Briley Nichols gets a couple of big swings to earn the point here for Eden Prairie. They prevail 25-18, even things up, and to force a 5th set. And it's a good one. Wayzata trails most of the way, but Kate Berg gets the kill, and they're back to within 14-12. Eden Prairie, though, won't be denied. Their comeback is complete after Paige Brueggemann gets the kill on match point. Eden Prairie wins a 5-set battle. Wayzata's girls soccer team had a chance to clinch the Lake Conference title Tuesday night. The Trojans hosting second place Eden Prairie. First half, and Wayzata scores first. Morgan Turner chases down the loose ball in the middle of the defenders and punches that shot home. It's 1-0 Trojans. They look to extend their lead later in the half. Addison Clark with the free kick, but Emily Sullivan's header just over the Eden Prairie net. The Eagles tied on their only shot on goal in the first half. Brianna Lupo with the blast, and that ties it at 1-1 at halftime. Wayzata's best chance to score in the second half comes off of another free kick, but Claire Jones' header grabbed up by Eagles goalie Lindsay Eliason. This one goes to overtime, and in the OT, Kelly Cruz scores for the Eagles. They beat Wayzata 2-1. The Trojans played Minnetonka Thursday to close out the regular season. The Wayzata boys did win. They beat Eden Prairie 2-0. The adapted soccer season is underway. The 7-time defending state champion Robbinsdale Hopkins Mound West Tonka Robbins PI Division team paid a visit to Park Center. The Robbins James Charlton tapping into Sean Johnson, who buries it on the far side less than a minute into the game. Johnson is just getting started. Next time it's Johnson going to the short side to sneak the shot through. He nets the first 4 goals of the match. Andy Hansen will take a shot. Kirby Gilbertson makes the foot save, but Charlton jabs the rebound in for a 5-0 Robbins lead. They close the half strong. Hansen dribbles to the middle and hits a well-placed left-footed shot at 6-0 Robbins at halftime. Second half, an Nazir Joyner steal leads to a goal for Jordan Klein. Robbins roll to a 9-1 win. They are now 2-1 on the season. And that's a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks, John. We'll be right back.
Well, finally, hear the beep where you sleep.
That is the theme of National Fire Prevention Month this month, raising the importance of smoke alarms in bedrooms and in hallways. To raise awareness, the Plymouth Fire Department is hosting a fire prevention poster contest. 4th and 5th grade students at elementary schools in Plymouth are eligible to enter. Contest rules are listed on the City of Plymouth's website, and posters are due Monday, October 19th. The prizes for the winners are pretty cool. There's a $15 cash prize and a ride to school in a fire truck.
Ooh, I like that one.
I'll take that over the cash, right? That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner's up next. See you tomorrow.